To understand genetic therapies, let's first look at what genes are. Genes are sections of DNA inside cells that provide instructions to make proteins, which are involved in body function. If your child has received a genetic diagnosis, this may be due to changes in one or more genes that cause certain proteins not to be made or to work well. There are a number of ways to treat genetic conditions. One approach is gene therapy, which could be done by adding new DNA or changing existing DNA in certain cells. These changes remain inside those cells long term. Another way to treat some genetic conditions is to change the way specific proteins are made from a person's DNA instructions. Some examples include antisense oligonucleotide therapy, other RNA therapies, and small molecule therapies. These type of therapies do not produce permanent DNA changes inside cells. The result may be to reduce, restore, or modify specific protein functions within a cell. For the purpose of this video, we'll be going through what gene transfer therapies are, when they may be an option for your child, and how they may be given. These videos are just a starting point to empower you to have conversations with your medical team. Gene transfer therapy is a specific type of gene therapy that provides new DNA to certain cells. The new gene may be a fully functional gene, part of a gene, or a different gene that bypasses the problem and improves the way that the cell works. The delivery of genes to cells needs packaging, like using an envelope to post a letter. The envelope stops the message from getting destroyed and takes it to the right address. In gene transfer therapies, this envelope is known as a vector and is most commonly made up of the shell of a harmless virus, a fat molecule, or a very small particle called a nanoparticle. A person's cells may be directly changed inside their body in vivo, or collected and treated outside their body and then returned to them ex vivo. Ultimately, the method chosen depends on your child's specific condition and what types of cells in their body need to be treated. If the in vivo route is pursued, gene transfer therapies can be given in different ways, called the route of administration. Most commonly, the dose can be injected into the bloodstream using a small tube into a vein in the arm or the leg. Gene therapies can also be injected directly into the fluid bathing the spinal cord and brain, or rarely as a direct injection into the brain. Ultimately, the approach that will be recommended for your child would depend on effectiveness and safety in relation to your child's condition. The next video in this series will outline the risks and the benefits of gene transfer therapies. You may be wondering, my child has a genetic diagnosis. Why have they been told they can't have gene therapy? Well, a genetic diagnosis does not automatically mean that your child can receive gene transfer therapy. It can be difficult if the gene in question is too big to be contained in the vector or envelope, if your child's condition is due to lots of changes in one gene or changes in multiple genes, if your child's immune system is likely to recognize, react to, or reject the gene products or vector, if your child has other medical issues that would make the therapy unsafe to receive, or if your child is outside the safe weight limits for dosing. In each of these instances, other therapies may be more suitable for your child.
In the rare disease space, where you've got a diagnosis and then you think, well, what's next on our journey? It is really confronting. It's natural to feel overwhelmed, uncertain, anxious, but your medical team are there to help you and to guide you and to help support you make an informed decision about what will be the best possible treatment path for your child.
When you have such a young child and you're trying to come up with long-term life decisions on their behalf, you're their best advocate. You're their voice. You're going to have questions. You're going to want to be searching for answers. You're going to want to challenge the information that you get. Yeah. And now we're hoping to give comfort to other parents going through it. Just knowing that there's another person out there who's been through it makes the world a difference.
talk to the people who have real world experience, real world knowledge, and that is your clinicians, your patient organisation groups. They're the most knowledgeable and the most important people you'll get the right information from.
Never ever forget that you are your child's best advocate. Despite the uncertainty, it is normal to feel uncertain or anxious, but in the end, you will always make the best decision for your child.
Your doctors are always here to support and guide you. This series of videos is designed to give you information to help you in making decisions about your child's treatment and to talk more with your team. There are lots of decisions throughout the care of your child. As you go through your journey, always remember to ask for support early on, make the time to take care of yourself, ask yourself what tools you need to make an informed decision. Stay engaged with your medical team and continue to provide a caring and supportive environment for your child. And do your best to not become overwhelmed with information. Instead, focus on what works best for you so you can concentrate on what's most important and what things you want to know more about. More information on gene therapy can be found on our website.